What is your American dream?
My American dream is preserve and promote my culture, which is Bangladesh culture. I want my kids to learn it and pass it on.
My American dream is that we can actually all live together peacefully and with love and joy, supporting each other in our common desire for happiness and love.
My American dream is to wear a sari on the train and not have people look at me like I'm an alien.
My American dream is to be in NASA. That's my dream in America.
My American dream is to be a doctor, like high conditional, and or a nurse or an engineer.
Build up America. America is great.
I want to live here happy and peace.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! What is this? Jelly beans! Oh my goodness! You know, this candy was named after our executive producer, Jelly Bean. Ha 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 ha. Okay, time to dive in! Wee! Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my goodness, I'm in a jelly bean sugar coma. Ooh. Oh, hello, Brad Squad. Happy Thursday. Groundhog Sam here, just enjoying a few jelly beans. Actually, I guess more than a few, but don't tell anyone. Ha 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 ha. Now I remember, whenever the jelly beans come out, it means it's almost Easter. Tomorrow is actually Good Friday and the first night of Passover, just like last year. Oh, I'm having a flashback to last year. Got Easter candy, we got some matzah for Passover. We are set for a holiday weekend. Woohoo! It was the best time. There was matzah, which, you know, okay, it's an acquired taste, but I kind of got into it. Tastes like branches a little bit. And then, of course, there was lots of jelly beans and little fluffy bunnies to eat and chocolate, and it was amazing. And I had my first Easter egg hunt. Aha! Found another one! I was the only one doing the hunting, but it was kind of cool because then I won. Wait a minute, if it's Easter, I've got to get my ears on. Hold please. Now I'm ready for my second year of holiday fun. I'm going to ask Brad if I could go to Passover with him tomorrow, because I remember last year at a Seder I had a little bit too much of that Manischewitz. I can't help it, I like sweet stuff too. Anyway, this means I think that we're going to have a holiday weekend of 3 days. I have to check with Brad, but I think so. I'm wishing the Brad Squad a very, very happy holiday weekend. Happy Passover and happy Easter to those who celebrate. And to those who don't, just happy spring. Woo. Anyway, did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Belgium Kim went to the circus. That's right, she went to the Circus Abyssinia, Ethiopian Dream. It's the only Ethiopian circus created by two brothers, Bibi and Bichu Tesfamariam. What they do is quite amazing. And they came to Broadway not too long ago, and Belgium Kim was there to talk to them about their journey from starting the circus in Ethiopia and now traveling globally with the show. Amazing. And now's the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-host Belgium Kim. Enjoy. If somebody wants to send me new bunny ears, I'm here. Well, I guess my bunny ears are kind of lame. I'm going to have to get new ones. Or maybe it just shows that I got to stick to being a groundhog and I shouldn't try to be other creatures. I don't know. Anyway, enjoy the show.
everybody. Thursday, April 18th. If anybody just sees what goes on behind the scenes, it's more enjoyable than actually the real show. But welcome, everybody. We should do behind the scenes Belgium, kids.
We should.
Right?
I'm kind of happy people didn't see that, though.
Yes. Anyways, happy Thursday, April 18th, 2019. It is Passover and Easter weekend, so a quick programming note. We will be taking a 3-day weekend. We will wish everybody happy Passover, happy Easter. The reason we always took a 3-day weekend in the past is at Spar and Bernstein. There were so many people celebrating Good Friday.
Right.
I would show up to work by myself. So, I said, all right, we're closed on Good Friday then.
Closed.
So that is
So
the
happy.
Evolution of why we are having a 3-day weekend.
I am not complaining in any way, Brett.
Mm-hmm. And we will do our show today. But we'll see everybody again on Monday.
Woo.
With that said, I do have to say hello to the squad.
Of course.
Right? Because we don't have a show without a squad.
No, we don't.
That is right.
We have Kim and Brad talking in an empty room.
Correct. That's no fun, right?
That's not nearly as fun.
No, it's not. Dion Watson, how are you? Demba Sow from Africa. Mia Montauk found out all about her doggy yesterday.
Yes, we did.
And we also learned not to drive in Atlanta because there's dogs driving in Atlanta. Kayla Davis, how are you? Javel Finnegan, how are you? Carol Anderson, the Tiger, never misses a show. Okay, never. She is every day, like the Iron Man, like an Iron Woman. An Iron Woman every day.
And that has been since radio days.
Correct. Anna K. Moxham, how are you? Jasmine McDonald. How many people do you think? And I don't know for a fact because I don't actually count. I always remember seeing Carol Anderson, the Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But how many Brad Squatters, and be honest, have watched every show we've done in 2019? How many do you think there are?
I would say there are at least 20 to 25
who have watched every show live.
Have not missed
a show.
Or you can probably count on one hand how many shows they've missed in the last 2-3 years.
Nezzy Once More. She watches a lot. I don't know if every day.
She watches a lot.
Willie L. Williams may have watched every show.
Yes,
right?
Willie Williams might.
Right. Mm-hmm. Maybe. First Lady Hewitt, how are you? Who else here? Patrona Collins may have watched every show.
Yeah, Abigail Taylor Watson.
Absolutely. Demba Sow may have as well. Jessica Leamy, I don't think she misses a show.
Not recently.
Not recently. I'm thinking 2019. Arnath says, hi Brad, how are you? Murphy Coley, how you doing? First Lady Hewitt says hello. Rich Kid C watches a lot, but I don't know if watches every day live. Rod J. Roberts says the addiction is real.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, the addiction. And Abigail Taylor Watson says, I've been late, but I didn't miss ever. And Demba Sow says she watches, Patrona Collins says, me. So Demba Sow says she's watched everyone too. First Lady Hewitt says she's watched everything since March.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right. I'm talking about all of 2019 since
there's more than 20 people who are watching all of 2019.
I'm not saying since radio days. I'm saying just in this year alone.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I would say we got at least 50, 60
Murphy
people.
Colley says watched Every Day Live.
Yep.
Deanna Moore says she watches Every Day Live in Jamaica.
Yep.
And on YouTube, Demba Sow also on YouTube. Marcia, a lot of people are watching on both feeds now. I see. They're checking out the comments on both.
I like it because you know what that shows? That ends up showing that the show is just as much about the show as it is about the community that's happening on the side.
This show is about the community. It's about helping the community. And our community is the squad.
Our community is the squad.
Okay, and it's about having fun with them. I have fun with them.
God, yeah.
Do you know if they weren't there, it would be no fun?
No.
I mean, you're fun, Kim, but not as much fun as Kim and squad.
And I'll take that. I would never presume to be as fun as 2,000 people every day. I'm cocky. I'm not that cocky.
That's right. And it's more than 2,000 people watch live.
Oh, absolutely.
We have at the end of our show between YouTube and Facebook, we have close to, I would say, somewhere between 2,500 to 3,000 people watch us live, and then another couple thousand over the next 24 hours or so. It's generally what it is. Give or take, sometimes less, sometimes more, but it's kind of how it turns out. KK says, what is a sensitive case? I don't know. What is a sensitive case?
Like, what would one consider a sensitive case?
I know what a sensitive person is. Like, I'm sensitive. I don't like to be called names.
Oh, that's not a name call. Sensitive?
Sensitivity. You can be, you know.
Oh, if you're
a sensitive person. I said I know what a sensitive person is.
Yeah, right.
I'm thinking about my childhood now.
Oh my God, he's going to start to cry, ladies and gentlemen. This is his
all
single tear
right.
face.
No, I'm okay.
I was expecting just that one rogue down the cheek.
I don't know what is a sensitive case. I guess she's referring to something that's a difficult case.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh? Carol, the Top Cat Tigress. I'm sure she will fill us in.
Yes,
Carol,
please.
the Top Cat Tigress. 2 Andersons is squad up. She says, please answer my question on your live. What does a sensitive case mean? I have no idea what a sensitive case means. I know what a sensitive person means.
Well, that's not.
But I don't know what a sensitive case means. I guess a difficult case? I don't know.
We need more information.
Yeah. Therese Bright, how are you? Angela Rawlings says, I am a dick. Oh. We'll save your comment for comment of the day.
I was going to say, thank you, Brad.
Zachary E. says, hi, team, watching your show. Princess Black says, good evening, everyone. Squad up, Yo-Yo and Kim. We just Kim today, no Yo-Yo.
Right.
Theo says, good evening, Brad, Kim, and Yo-Yo. What's cooking? What's cooking?
Can you smell?
Let me tell you what, don't even mention the word cooking because I'm starving to death right now.
I'm so hungry.
Doing this Brad challenge.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy. What's cooking is I want to know what's cooking. I'll eat anything right now. Anything you put in front of me.
Everything is cooking.
Whatever you're putting in front of me, I'm cooking. I'll eat it. Whatever you're cooking in front of me, I'm eating it. We'll talk. And Sexy Sham Myers, how are you? And talking about the Brad challenge. Let's put that card up. I got on the scale this morning. I am challenging everybody, including everyone in our community called the Brad Squad, to the Brad Challenge. We are going to lose 10% of our body weight in the next 6 weeks. We've gone 1 week already, and in 1 full week, Belgium Kim, I have lost a total of 3 pounds. So I'm now 177. I started at 180 pounds. I am now current 177. I have to get down to 162 pounds. I need to go another 15 pounds. I have 5 more weeks to lose 15 pounds. I'm asking the Brad Squad, who's in it with me? I've been screaming a lot lately, right?
You have been.
I don't know. I get excited.
You've been very excitable.
Yeah.
It's all that extra energy from the
Who is in it with me? All right, because when we started this Brad Challenge, we had a lot of squad in the challenge.
Right.
Marge Higgs, Tamika
Right.
Nelson, Cordella Douglas, Carrie Ann Wallace, Angela Barrett, Cece Mitchell, Tanisha Walker, Kennedy Roy, Jessica Leamy, Princess Black, Rococo Chocolat, Carlos Estrella, Rude Boy, Danette Gray Downer, Utkar, Duchess May, Rodrigo Silva, Lisa Bling Rose, all said they were in the challenge. Why am I the only one announcing my weight every day?
Well, I'll tell you one reason is that First Lady Hewitt just said, I think I need to buy a scale. So that's probably a great reason why she's not giving us numbers.
All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, you're off the hook.
I'm kind of Team First Lady Hewitt. I'm like, I feel lighter today.
You're right. Just what you do is look at you, just feel your face.
Right,
and go,
exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely a
the
pound.
side.
It's definitely a pound. And by the way, the benefits of losing weight, it's really important to know this. You have a more active social life, greater confidence, better sleep, improved energy, an improved sex life, decreased stress, improved body image, improved vitality, and improved mood. Apparently, all of it, but sex life is so far for me. Apparently.
That's the only thing that it's been improving thus far?
No, everything but.
Oh, everything but. Okay,
yes.
but that's
yes.
I don't
My girlfriend's been out of town.
I was just about to say that it doesn't help the long distance situation.
Yeah,
that's
she's
not
out of
what
town,
point.
so I can't test out the rest of that. but everything else has been pretty. I've been sleeping pretty sound.
Although maybe if you lose weight, she'll come back
maybe,
in town.
Maybe.
So it will help.
Maybe, yes. I told her. I said I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna at least have a 1-pack. She said I'll believe it when I see it.
Is she supporting the Brad Challenge?
She is supporting the Brad Challenge, but she is very, very, very tough.
Oh.
She is a tough cookie. So she says, and being a tough cookie, she's like, no cookie for you. Okay, no cookie for you.
So it's not like Abigail Taylor Watson who said I cheated this morning and had some chips.
No, there is no cheating whatsoever. Before we get into our schmooze, and there's a lot to schmooze about, Belgium Kim, tell everybody what they need to do to help share, and let's build this community. Let's build this squad.
Okay, for all of the new people and all of our old people who have been in the Brad Squad from the beginning, this is a time where you share the best immigration show in the land to all of your friends and family. So the way you're going to do that on Facebook, you're going to share it onto your page, onto friends' pages, but most importantly, as a private message to your friends, to groups of friends, and to groups of family, and you're going to let them know exactly where and when they can watch the show, which is right now. You're also going to let us know exactly how you feel about what's going on about what we're talking about in the comments. We want to see all the likes, all the hearts, all the loves. We want to see long comments. We want to see it all on both Facebook and YouTube. And on YouTube, I need everybody to click that thumbs up right now, right this second. Don't wait. I'm going to do it with you guys. It's done. And now you're going to make sure to hit right under that the share button. You're going to copy the link, share it into WhatsApp groups, share it as a text message, however you want to send the link to let people know that they're going to get free answers to their immigration questions in just a few minutes. And wherever you're watching, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you get a notification every single time we go live. And now is the time you have all been waiting for, the time where Brad is going to lay it all out. And my God, there's some big news today in Schmoozing with Brad.
There you go, Schmoozing with Brad. And you know what the big news is?
Woo, yeah, I do.
Yes, Trump's personal attorney, William Barr. Oh, I'm sorry, not his personal attorney. The Attorney General. My apologies. I watched the press conference this morning. I thought I was watching Trump's personal attorney. It turns out he's not Trump's personal attorney. He is the U.S. Attorney General.
Right.
William Barr.
I could have confused you.
Yeah, it was hard to tell.
I couldn't have told,
It was hard to tell. He staunchly defended President Trump today. He has released the Mueller Report, the redacted Mueller Report.
Right.
There were pages that have been redacted, but this is what the 10 big takeaways, or the key takeaways from the Mueller Report. There were at least 10 possible instances of obstruction of justice. Even though William Barr said there was no obstruction, Barr said the report identifies 10 instances which could be considered obstruction. I mean, the Mueller report says. Now, Mueller says that, he's not taking any position on this obstruction. William Barr says, well, the president was scared. Now, I'll tell you one thing about this whole obstruction thing, and you can come back to me for a second. The one thing about this whole obstruction thing that I don't understand is obstruction of justice has to do with the intent in your mind.
Right.
What were you believing in your mind? What were you trying to do? Okay. Now, now, how would you ever know? How would you ever know what's in somebody's mind unless you interview them?
Right.
What blows my mind,
right,
talking about minds,
yeah,
in this entire thing, okay, is that Mueller was able to determine, to not make a determination,
right,
what was in Donald Trump's mind when he fired Comey,
right,
when he told Jeff Sessions not to recuse himself, when he told William McGahn to go and lie to the public.
Right.
When he told his aide to go, Linkowski, he told Linkowski to go, I forgot. Linkowski was to go, I forgot. I read it quickly. There was like 10 things, and the thing he did with Linkowski was terrible, and Linkowski refused to do it. But the point is that obstruction goes to what was your intent in your mind.
Right.
And Mueller never interviewed Trump to make a determination what was in his mind. Instead, he asked questions and he got back insufficient answers. And he even said in his report he got back insufficient answers. But because they waited 1 year to interview Trump, they kept asking to interview Trump. Trump would not go and interview with him, which kind of contradicts what William Barr said this morning, that Trump, cooperated fully, and therefore,
right,
because he cooperated fully, we don't think there was obstruction of justice.
Which he obviously did not.
You don't cooperate fully when you're asked to appear for an interview and you don't. All right, that's not full cooperation. That's something less than full cooperation.
Right.
And then how do you make a determination what's in the man's head without actually talking to him?
Right.
Belgium Kim, for the next week,
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak to you at all. You just give me a text message. I mean, and people send, when people send text messages, I was just telling this to a friend the other day.
Yeah.
Okay, you send text messages. Text messages do not have emotion. Text messages, you can't figure out what somebody feels or thinking in a text message.
Absolutely.
And then you put your own emotion to it.
Absolutely.
And I was just talking about that in terms of somebody having a relationship, and they're like, this person just texted me. What do you think this means? I go, it could mean 100 different things.
And
I
you
have
have
no
to talk
idea.
to them.
Right, you have to talk to them. It could
Right.
be sarcastic. It could be funny. It could mean 100 different things.
100%.
So you can never find tone and emotion in a text message.
Yeah.
And you certainly can't find tone and emotion or even intent in a written letter
Right.
written by Trump's lawyers, unless they actually wrote down, I obstructed justice.
Right.
So you only determine that by interviewing somebody.
Yeah.
And after interviewing them, then you figure out what's in the man's head.
Exactly. It's that saying that's like 90% is how you said something and only 10% is what you said. Exactly.
So I don't understand how William Barr stands up to the American people today and says Trump cooperated, because he didn't. And I don't understand how Mueller says we are unable to make a determination whether Trump obstructed justice or not, but we are completing our investigation without interviewing him because we don't feel he can provide any more information that we've already received.
Right.
I don't know what more would make a determination whether this man obstructed justice, this redheaded pimple in the White House. I don't know what you call him. Unless you actually interview him. Now, there was also insufficient evidence of collusion, coordination, or cooperation with Russia.
Right.
Okay, what Mueller did say is Russia did interfere in the U.S. elections. They interfered on behalf of Trump against Hillary Clinton. It was obvious that they did it. There have been 25 Russians who have been indicted already. Obviously, the Russians were working to get Trump elected. They thought he would be the better president for them. And what was in the Mueller report is that even though the Russians tried to reach out to Trump associates, they didn't say anything to the FBI. And even though the Russians were helping Trump to become president, Trump was accepting that help. He didn't try to stop it in any way. That in of itself is not a crime unless Trump or one of Trump's associates met with a Russian, shook their hand, and said, we're going to work together.
Yep.
And or that there was some sort of implicit agreement to work together, and there wasn't, and that's why there was no collusion, although they were both working in the same direction to get Trump elected, and Trump certainly was not distancing himself from that. That's basically the conclusions of Mueller. But that doesn't reach a level of a crime. Reaching a level of crime, when you say conspiracy, conspiracy is having an agreement to commit a crime. Now, the other thing which I thought was interesting, which I didn't even know this as the law, which I just found out today. I didn't even, I'm a lawyer, I know a lot, but I don't know everything.
Right.
I didn't know this was the law. Now, what happened is it is only a crime to what Trump did with this WikiLeaks, because he was encouraging WikiLeaks to, publish all the Clinton emails. And maybe he had contact, or his people had contact with WikiLeaks.
Right.
But it's only a crime to assist in helping in the publication of these emails.
Right.
If in fact he was part of the underlying crime in stealing them.
In actually getting
them. So since he never participated in the underlying crime of getting them, it is not a crime to help publish them. I don't, that's the law. I didn't even know that, but that's what I discovered.
How can you know about both a foreign entity and a private corporation doing illegal things, and you know about that, and just because you didn't help in it, you have absolutely no culpability? That's crazy to me.
Now, the Mueller report did say that Trump did have the authority to fire Comey. It's one of the things that It's one of the things that they were looking at in terms of obstruction.
Right.
But it's when you use your levels of power that go beyond being a president to obstruct justice, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
When Trump found out that Mueller was appointed, he said in the Oval Office, "Oh my God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm fucked."
Wow.
When Trump slumped in his chair, and then he hatched this whole idea, I believe, to fight this.
Right.
And part of the fighting was publicly humiliating people who went to assist Mueller,
Right.
publicly humiliating Mueller. I remember what is the Linkowski. The Linkowski thing was he told Linkowski to go to the Attorney General and tell him to fire Mueller.
Wow.
And he didn't do it.
And he told Don McGahn as well to call Mueller call and have him fired.
Now, Trump ordered the White House counsel to fire Mueller on several occasions. He called White House counsel Don McGahn at home and ordered him to dismiss Mueller, but McGahn balked, deciding he would not resign, that he would resign rather than trigger what he would regard as a potential Saturday night massacre. That's when Richard Nixon fired all of the investigators investigating him.
Right.
There was no evidence that Trump directed Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. Mueller made no finding about whether Trump told him to lie. Now, I don't know what to say more about it. I'm disappointed. A lot of people were counting on Mueller to come through.
Right.
The one thing I have to say, the thing to me that stands out more than anything else of this entire thing, is based on what Mueller came up with. I believe there was no agreement between the Trump administration and Russia to coordinate their activities. Although they were both acting in the interests of the Trump campaign, there was no formal agreement.
I agree.
But in terms of obstruction of justice, all day long, you can't make a determination whether Trump obstructed justice or not unless you interviewed him.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Well, and I feel like there's been enough times that we have had hard and fast proof that he has lied to the American public for one reason or another, that he attempted. There was just telling Russia, go get him. I don't understand how that's not a crime.
It's not a crime because they didn't agree. There was no agreement. There was no agreement to. It
was a national. Go get him is the agreement.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, Russia, get her emails is the agreement.
I don't know about that.
Oh. Killing it. It's killing me, Brad. I was really struggling today.
Meanwhile, talking about Russians, a sanctioned Russian oligarch is now investing millions of dollars in whose state? Mitch McConnell's state.
Mitch McConnell.
Yes, Rusal, which is the aluminum company partly owned by Oleg Deripaska. They're building a $200 million aluminum plant in Kentucky.
Of course
just
they are.
months after the Trump administration removed the company from a list of companies the United States is no longer able to do business with. Those sanctions were removed shortly around the time when Trump found out that Mueller Report's going to be positive to him. It doesn't happen by coincidence.
It's completely connected.
It doesn't happen by coincidence. And where are they building a $200 million aluminum plant? In Mitch McConnell's state. Also, not a coincidence. Meanwhile, Time Magazine's top 100 people of the year includes, believe this or not, Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who is accused of sexual assault by Christine Blasey Ford. Although the list does feature people who are well-liked, considering Kavanaugh did dominate the public landscape for months, we're still not sure. I am not sure why he would be a person of the year.
Next to her on the list.
Yes. Next to her on the list.
Right, like
they put them together.
Not necessarily together, but they are both on
the list.
They are both
so
on
Dr.
it.
Christine Blasey Ford is on the list.
Right.
As well as Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
Right.
Actually, they could have picked one or the other.
Right.
And probably picked her or him. Why they picked both, I'm not sure. Actress Jessica Chastain tweeted, because some people are a little up in arms over this.
Right.
You put her on the same list as the man she said assaulted her. So disappointing. At time, Christine Blasey Ford. Author Jessica Valenti tweeted, Time magazine profiling Christine Blasey Ford alongside the man who sexually assaulted her is peak both sides, and I'm so tired.
That's so real.
Yeah. Laura Bassett tweeted, imagine making Time's 100 most influential people list because you accused a prominent man of sexual assault and then finding out he is on the same list. How many ways can we keep re-traumatizing Blasey Ford?
Exactly.
Notably, nearly half the list is women, and 48 women on this year's list compared to last year's 45 women.
That's
the issue
good.
published Wednesday includes cover stars such as actress Sandra Oh, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, pop star Taylor Swift, CBS anchor Gayle King, former First Lady Michelle Obama, congressional newcomer Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, and an honorable mention for Belgium, Kim.
Hey, what?
Yes.
I took it. I was number 101, Brad.
One of our favorite people in the world, one of our favorite celebrities in the world, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, also made it, along with Donald Trump and Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Meanwhile, in Shanghai, I'm sorry, not Shanghai, Singapore.
Singapore, yes.
Yes, in Singapore, after 4 years of construction, the world's largest waterfall is now officially open. It features a dramatic donut-shaped exterior framed in steel and glass and is a whopping 1.46 million square feet. Many believe this will ensure that Singapore is ranked the world's best airport. It is built at a cost of $1.25 billion. The star attraction is the 130-foot tall HSBC Rain Vortex. What is that? It's a cascade through a huge oculus in the middle of a jewel and is billed as the world's tallest waterfall. Oh, the waterfall was not $1.25 billion, the entire airport.
The whole building.
I was about to say, I can't believe they just spent $1.25 billion on a waterfall.
Yeah, no, it's a new building that connects their terminals.
I understand that. Containing over 280 retail feet, 2 retail stores. Jewel also includes the Shishido Forest Valley, a 4-story garden. Changi Airport. Yeah. It's the world's 7th busiest. Now, I understand that once LaGuardia Airport opens and fixes, they will be in total combat with Changi Airport.
In contention for the best.
We're just hoping that there's a food court at a gate that we can walk through without construction, right? Have you been through LaGuardia? It's awful.
I have. I've actually also been through that Singapore airport, and that last picture we showed, that's me in the Singapore airport.
But that's before. But that's before they made this extension.
I gotta be real. Even before the extension, it's been the nicest airport in the world for the last 7 years. It's insane what they have. When I went, there was a movie theater for free, a sunflower garden, a spa, like a 2-story liquor store.
So you think it's the best in the world?
It's the crazy. It
so
is.
what is ranked the number 1 airport in the world?
Singapore Airport.
It was ranked the 7th.
No, it's the 7th busiest, but it's the number 1 airport in terms of nicest airports.
It's been ranked the nicest airport in the world
for the last 7 years.
What is number 2?
I have not.
Can you Google that?
I sure can.
I would like to hear what the 5 are. I wonder if I've been in any of them, and then I would be able to comment as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, the second one is in Seoul, South Korea.
I have not been there.
Tokyo, Haneda.
Not been there.
Hong Kong.
I've been there.
Ooh, did you like it?
Thought it was okay.
Just really?
I didn't think it was anything special.
And the last one, the number 5 is Doha, Qatar.
Doha, Qatar. I was not there.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Joe Guidas.
Judice.
Giuseppe Giudice.
Right.
Who is Giuseppe Giudice?
He is the husband of Teresa Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
From Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Right there
Okay, I understand now. The Board of Immigration Appeals has dismissed his case on April 11, 2019. In dismissing the case, he is going to be deported.
Yeah, he is.
He does have the option to appeal into federal court. What was he found guilty of? I'll tell you whether it's worth it or not.
Fraud.
What kind of fraud?
I believe it's in one of your bullets. I want to say number...
Did he steal more than $10,000?
Oh, yeah, millions.
He's an aggravated felon. He's getting deported. Save your money and just go home.
what's crazy to me,
Yeah.
I'm very, and I want to know what the Brad Squad thinks about this, and I definitely want to know what you think about this. So when he was convicted at first, his wife Teresa was like,
Why is he out of? Why? What I find amazing. Okay, is he out of jail at this moment?
yeah, he served 3 years.
Okay, he's not in immigration detention right
He
now?
he is in detention.
Oh, okay, he should be in immigration.
No, he
I was going to
is.
say, if he's not in immigration detention, there's something wrong.
No, he totally is.
Because he's
in
an
detention.
aggravated felon.
Yeah, and he's
and
been
he's
in
gonna-
detention since he got out.
Okay,
He got
yeah.
out of jail and went right into detention.
Yeah, he should just leave. He's not winning his case.
His wife,
Yes.
his wife has said that she is going to divorce him if he gets deported because she refuses to move to Italy and she refuses to have a long distance relationship. I'm kind of floored by that. Am I the only one that's floored by this?
Well, you would be floored by it if you don't love the man.
Well,
If there's not much of a relationship there, then
exactly.
and she went to jail too, so there was a lot going on there. Okay, but she loves herself. She loves her fame, certainly more than she loves her husband.
Man.
So just that's love.
How far the mighty have fallen,
Yes.
man. She went far from her pedestal.
Meanwhile,
Oh no, I'm worried about your smile.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I do this all day. A team of researchers at Penn State and the University of Buffalo studied the drinking habits of people who routinely work with the public. And what they've determined is that if you smile a lot during the day at work, you drink a lot at home. I have no idea what the relationship is, but the findings of their study released on April 10th showed a link between those who regularly amplify positivity, such as smiling, or suppress negative emotions, and they are heavier drinkers. That means that if you're stopping yourself from rolling your eyes all day,
Right. Eye roll. Cue the eye roll. Cue eye roll.
or you're at work and you're just not going to, suck on your lips like,
Pinched mouth.
or you're not gonna do one of these. Just talk to the hand, Kim.
No, you wouldn't.
Talk
It's
to the
true.
hand. You're not gonna do any of that.
No.
And you're just gonna smile all day. Just be prepared to have a bad liver later on in life.
Be prepared to drink.
Yes, Alicia Grandi, professor of psychology at Penn State, said the results suggest that employers may want to reconsider having their employees smile all day. Faking and suppressing emotions with customers was related to drinking beyond the stress of the job or feeling negative. I wonder if that's really true.
I mean, Penn State is a reputable university. That's a hell of a.
I don't know if I buy it or not, because I've been told that sometimes when you fake a smile,
Yeah.
it actually forces your brain to feel better thoughts, and then you start getting even less angry or mad or whatever it is that you are, and actually having a fake behavior causes your emotion to make you actually feel better sometimes. So that to me was what the psychology said all the time.
That's
Now-
fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Now I looked at my credit card bill, and the tequila bill at the end of the month on the credit card's off the hook. So maybe Penn State's got something there.
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say maybe that 1942 is starting to really pay off.
I didn't hear this, but rapper Kodak Black was arrested for weapons and drug possession at the border.
He was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The rapper Kodak Black and 3 associates, they were arrested Wednesday night at the United States-Canada border after police found marijuana and a Glock 9mm pistol that he did not declare. The 20-year-old rapper, his name is Bill Capri, was charged with criminal possession of a weapon. He was released Thursday on $20,000 bail. He's a U.S. citizen now?
He is.
Okay, so he's not going to get deported, but maybe he's going to go to jail. According to a statement by the Customs and Border Patrol, during the initial inspection, the United States citizen admitted to being in possession of marijuana and firearms. During a secondary inspection, it was revealed that the weapons were possessed unlawfully in New York State, and subsequently the marijuana, the firearms, and subjects were turned over to the New York State Police for further processing. Is he in jail right now?
He was just released on bail. Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, this is actually a sad story and a nice story at the same time.
Okay.
A stranded dog that was rescued after being found swimming in the Gulf of Thailand 130 miles from shore.
Look at him.
It's understood that this dog, his name is Boonrod for survivor, fell from a fishing boat. Now, workers on board an oil rig noticed the pooch's head poking above the ripples as she paddled through the ocean on Friday. She was picked up from the ocean and saved.
Oh.
It's a nice story, but I can't believe that this dog would fall off a boat and the fishing boat wouldn't look for this dog.
I mean, they must not have seen her fall, right?
Yeah. When she reached the rig, the workers nursed Boonrod back to health while they radioed for help and requested a tanker that was returning to shore to pick her up. Oil rig worker Khan Vitasek, who saved the animal, said he would like to adopt her if the owner does not come forward. I would adopt her. Because anybody who'd let your dog go in the ocean would not look firm.
Yes.
Come on.
All
right, finally, Kim.
Yeah.
This is such a ridiculous story that I have to mention it here.
Okay, I love
because
those.
this is Bradshaw Live.
Of course.
Chaos, Kim, at the Walmart as the woman performs karate. Her son exposes himself naked. Dog steals food. This was absolute chaos at a Wisconsin Walmart this past Wednesday night. The Eau Claire Police Department said on social media that officers responded to a call that Lisa Smith, this 46-year-old woman.
Wait,
this is Lisa Smith.
A 46?
Yeah, she looks like she's 95, but she's 46. Her dog, Bo, and her son, I don't know what the son's name is, were causing chaos there's the son, were causing chaos at the local Walmart. Now, police learned that Smith came into the shop with Bo unleashed, the dog immediately running off towards customers while the woman was pulling apart displays in the store and placing them in her cart.
Oh my
After being told to leave the store, the woman began showing off her karate moves in the parking lot to fend off the police. The dog tried to flee the scene, albeit unsuccessfully, with a box of Jiffy cornbread muffin mix that the dog allegedly stole from the store. After a brief fight with officers, Smith was arrested. The police obviously knew some karate moves too. The dog was tracked down with the muffin mix in the dog's mouth. And meanwhile, the raucous 26-year-old son, his name is Benny, he got fully naked and started exposing himself to the customers in aisle 5.
While mom was karateing the officers in the parking lot.
Correct. He then tried to cover himself with new clothes. Apparently what he was trying to do, was ditch his old clothes and buy new clothes and not pay for it and walk out of the store with the new clothes, except the police found him naked on aisle 5. After police confronted the son, he threatened to run them over with a scooter that he found in aisle 7, prompting the police to use, you can't make this stuff up, prompting the police to use physical force to stop the scooter and arrest the man. The mother was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and bail jumping. The son is facing charges of lewd and lascivious behavior and theft. And the only character to get off scot-free is Bo the dog, who was brought to the Humane Society, and hopefully some better family will adopt him.
And today's lesson, boys and girls, is don't do drugs.
I thought you were gonna use the Lawrence Taylor line from Waterboy. And that brings me to my next lesson, stay off the crack. All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to use that line, and you took it from me.
I'm so sorry.
You took it from me.
I'm so sorry.
All right, so Belgium Kim, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready to answer some immigration questions?
All right, family, we do all the hard work for the most part, but now is the time where you got to get to work. We want you to share the show on whatever platform you are watching it. On Facebook, we need you to hit share and share it into people's inboxes. Share it as a private message and let them know that we're going to be answering immigration questions for free right now. Second,
1 second, you're gonna have to keep talking.
Okay.
Because my computer is frozen.
You realize that I actually knew I needed to keep talking as your angry clicking over there
My
was
computer
really
is
letting me know
absolutely frozen.
that you are having a little issue with your tissue.
All right, somebody brought my computer into the ice cream truck.
Will somebody come help restart Brad's
Yeah,
computer?
someone needs to help restart my computer here.
Do you really need help restarting?
I really do.
Top right, Brad.
Top right?
Left. Top left.
Top left? Where?
No, on the top of the thing.
On the top of what thing?
It's a tablet.
There's a tablet.
I got you. Hey, fam. And also
Yes.
on YouTube, make sure
Here
to
it is.
like
Thank
and
you very
follow.
much. Now I see the
Absolutely.
on-off button.
Make sure.
Yes. Belgium Kim having to show Brad where the on-off button
As
is.
she's letting people know to subscribe and
Yes.
hit that little bell on YouTube.
Unfortunately, the on-off button doesn't seem to work, Belgium Kim.
Press and hold it, Brad.
I'm
Press
pressing
and
and
hold.
hold. Press and hold. Press and hold.
Keep pressing and holding. And
There
while
we
Brad
go.
is pressing and holding,
Keep going,
you
Belgium
need to be
Kim. You got
pressing
it.
and holding that share button on Facebook. The other thing we absolutely want you to do is start a watch party. That is going to send a notification to every single one of your friends to let them know, hey, watch the show. Maybe Brad will get a notification on his phone because his computer's not working. So that'll be great. Also, make sure to let us know how you think and feel about everything that's going on. As you can see, there's always a lot going on at Brad Show Live, so let us know exactly how you feel in the comments. And now, we're not going to get to the point.
Yeah, this is what we're going to do.
To the part.
We're going to, Anna Escona.
Yes, Anna Escona.
Yes,
love her.
Yes, Romania. We're going to do Anna Escona. We're going to go out of order here.
A little bit.
And we're going to get to our immigration questions in about 5 minutes, and I'm going to ask you to go back to answer questions in a second.
No problem.
But Romanian immigrant Zoltan Thomas worked at Donald Trump's golf club in Florida and as a driver for Donald Trump's kids during the 2016 campaign. I don't know if you heard this or not.
No, I have not heard about this.
This is Donald Trump's chauffeur is now in deportation. He's a Romanian guy. His name is Zoltan. He's detained by ICE for the last 8 months after he applied for U.S. citizenship. Anna Escona has something to say about this in another edition of This Just Doesn't Make Any Sense.
Hey friends from the Brad Show Live, I'm Anna Escona. Trump's family former driver is now detained by ICE for months. Romanian driver Sultan Tamas worked for Donald Trump's family at the president's golf club in Florida. He was also the driver for Trump's kids and during his presidential campaign in 2016. He has now been detained by ICE for 8 months after applying to be a U.S. citizen in 2016 because they found a record back in Romania for insurance fraud. However, he has no criminal record in the US and he is fighting to be able to stay here in this country with his wife and 2 kids who are US citizens. What I don't understand is why is he being detained for a criminal record back in Romania, but he has a clean record in this country? That should not even be allowed. And his past shouldn't reflect his future. He obviously came to this country to better himself, and he proved it because he has a clean record. Up to date, he's worked and supported his family with his 2 kids. And at the end of the day, we all make mistakes and have the right to be able to change for the better. And it's just crazy to me that ICE is trying to deport a man who worked for years for the president. Okay, so it's okay to allow him to work for the president with a criminal record of insurance fraud back in Romania, but not okay to keep him here. Meanwhile, he has a clean record in the US. I don't get it. And let me mention, since being detained, Sultan has not seen his 8-year-old daughter who's really sick with congenital heart disease. Why is Donald Trump not doing anything to help this man who has dedicated his life to cater to his family? This just doesn't make any sense. And it is not okay for them to try and deport someone who has not done anything wrong in this country and who was just trying to be a U.S. citizen, which protects him even better. It just sounds to me that the Trump administration just doesn't want anyone who was not born in this country, no matter what. Hopefully his deportation does not go through and he can remain in this country and provide for his family and his sick daughter.
Anna, all right, because I don't know if Anna has it fully right.
Right, okay.
Okay, with immigration law. Perhaps from a humanitarian standpoint, Anna's correct. Which she is. All right, the man was Donald Trump's driver. He's had a clean record here for 20 years. He applied for his citizenship. His daughter's in the hospital. He's lived his whole life here, and he's now in ICE detention. So from a humanitarian standpoint, you're 100% right. This man should not be in detention. He should be home with his daughter, and he's been living here with a clean record for 20 years. Except the immigration law says, and maybe the immigration law needs to change.
Right.
That if you are convicted of a fraud, just like Joe Guidas.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe Guidas was convicted of a fraud. If you're convicted of a fraud, and that fraud was in excess of $10,000, meaning that the loss to the victim of that fraud was more than $10,000, that is an aggravated felony. And if you are convicted of an aggravated felony after April 24th, 1996, that is automatic deportation and automatic detention, no bail. You could argue that law is not right. And that aggravated felony is not just in the United States, it can happen anywhere in the world. Now, this man pled guilty to a crime in Romania of fraud where the loss to the victim was more than $10,000. Makes him an aggravated felon. Compounding the problem is that he hid that from the U.S. government when he applied for his green card. Or the U.S. government didn't find out about it and gave him a green card regardless. So now he goes to apply for his citizenship and it was discovered. So he needs, in some respect, to try to readjust his status in the United States. Whether he can or can't, I don't know. I don't know how he came here. He needs, sometimes there are waivers that he would have gotten his green card anyway. Maybe that's what he's going to be doing in detention, and that's maybe what his lawyers are doing. I don't know because I'm not familiar. But under the law, immigration's rightfully holding him. Is it right? I don't think so. But under the law, they are rightfully holding him. I met with somebody today who was a U.S. citizen, thank God, because his mother was a U.S. citizen before 18. He was in jail for several years, and he didn't understand why, if he was not a U.S. citizen, that they would come and not deport him. And I said, well, just because you were found guilty of a crime in the 1980s doesn't mean they're not coming to deport you.
Right.
So it doesn't matter when the conviction was.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where the conviction was. And that is the lesson that we learn from all of this. With now all of that being said, Belgium Kim.
Yeah.
Go back and tell everybody in less than 30 seconds to share, and we're going to go back and now start answering your immigration questions.
Okay. Okay, family, we're going to do this one more time. On Facebook, you guys are going to hit the share button, and you're going to make sure to share it into private messages, into people's inboxes directly. You can also start a watch party where you can get a notification to all of your friends that says you are seeing the best immigration show on Facebook right this second. On YouTube, we want you guys to share as well. You guys aren't off the hook. Share, copy the link and share it into groups that you're a member of. Share it as a text. Share it all over your platforms because we need people to know that this is where they can get their immigration questions answered right this second with a brand new segment. Nope, not at all. With a brand new card for a very old segment called Getting Answers. Call, answer, getting answers to your immigration.
We got it right now.
Yeah, we did.
And we're going to go to Kumar in Sunnyvale, California. Kumar.
Hi, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. I have a question. Like, if I got detained and I got paroled, now I'm applying for adjustment status. I'm still in removal proceeding. I'm eligible to adjust my status.
I don't understand your question. If you got what? You got paroled?
I got a paroled, and
you got paroled.
I have a U.S. citizen.
You got
and
paroled.
I have a U.S.
One second.
citizen.
When you say paroled from a criminal jail or paroled into the United States?
Paroled in the United States.
Okay.
Like,
why were you paroled into the United States?
Oh, I have a visitor visa, and I came to get married. They're saying it's an intent to get in, so they got detained from the airport.
They paroled you into the country from the airport?
No, they detained me from the airport, and then after...
Wait. What did they do to you at the airport?
They detained
you at the airport, and then what happened?
And then my girlfriend, requested parole at the ICE officer, and then they paroled me.
Do you have to see a judge?
Before judge, I claimed asylum. I can't go back to my country because of some reason. I have a problem going back to my country. So I go to the interview, credibility interview, and then I passed the interview. So she requested a parole, and then the ICE officer accepted the parole.
Well, there's two different types of parole. That one that admits you and one that doesn't. Generally, parole allows you to adjust, but sometimes when you're applying, when they parole you in to see a judge, that's not a parole to adjust your status. So I would need to see exactly what they did. You have those documents?
I think they said it's humanitarian parole because my girlfriend's father was sick. He's on the bed.
So you were paroled in for humanitarian reasons. Then that would absolutely be a parole to allow you to adjust your status. You're going to need all sorts of waivers. You're going to need help, and you have to do it before a judge. But yes, a humanitarian parole because your girlfriend's father was sick. Absolutely, that's a parole to adjust.
Yeah, but what happened, I'm at the removal proceeding. My lawyer, previously I have a lawyer, and he said, he filed everything together, I-130 and I-485.
Your lawyer should file a total adjustment because you're in inadmissibility proceedings. You're not in deportation. So I assume, I don't know where you are, but I'm going to assume that you're in inadmissibility proceedings, and if that's the case, then you would just adjust. If they allowed you into the country and then put you in deportation, then you would have to do it before a judge. So I don't know where you're at.
What happened?
What is your Kumar? Let me ask you a question. What is your question? You want a full consultation on my show right now?
Oh no, I'm just.
Tell me what your question is. Because your question is, are you eligible to adjust on humanitarian parole? The answer is yes. I'm taking guesses now on everything else because I don't have the documents in front of me.
I'm sorry. So my second question is, if they denied from the USCIS, is that good way I can appeal from the USCIS or I can go back to the church?
Why would you be denied?
They didn't give me a reason for 2 years.
Okay.
And then they're saying, judge our over jurisdiction.
Kumar, the reason you would be denied is one of two reasons. One, they don't believe it's a real marriage, or two, you made a misrepresentation and need a waiver, or maybe you have a criminal record I don't know about. There could be other reasons why, too. I have no idea why you're denied. Okay?
I-130 approved.
So your I-130 is approved, and your adjustment is pending, and it's been more than 2 years, and you're in inadmissibility proceedings, not removal proceedings, then what you need is Abadir to sue the government because you need a mandamus. There could be 100 reasons and 100 different ways we can go on this. And on my show, I'm a good lawyer, but I'm not a mind reader. I can't read the documents that you're looking at. A lot of times, I need to go through a file and tell you what to do. Okay? So I could answer your question absolutely. Can you adjust on humanitarian parole? Absolutely, all day long. Are you eligible to adjust? What's your situation? I would need to see your records, okay? But based on everything you're telling me, there's a way for you to get a green card, okay? And if it's more than 2 years, you need to hold on 1 second, all right? And have a consultation with me. Let's go to Jackie in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Jackie.
Hey, Brad. This is Jackie. Yeah, my fiance, he's been deported now since January of this year.
Why?
Got 3 DUIs. And in Wisconsin, they're not considered felonies, from my understanding, but they are misdemeanors. And the lawyer that his son got for him was very, very inexperienced. She was only 2 years.
Did he have a green card?
I'm sorry, what?
Did he have a green card?
No, he doesn't have a green card. He came in one time legal, and I guess another time he came in somehow. I don't know how, but he came in according to his lawyer that he did have. He spent 240 days in jail. The civil.
Where is he from?
He's from Mexico.
All right, and this is your husband or your boyfriend?
No, my fiance. I'm going in May. Next month.
Okay, so you're gonna. It's water under the bridge now. He's already in Mexico and got deported. Whether his lawyer had 2 years or 10 years, he's not coming back unless you go to Mexico. You marry him, and he's going to need all sorts of waivers. He's going to need waivers for the 3 DUIs. I am going to almost assure you that he's going to need some sort of alcohol anonymous class to prove
he did that in jail.
I understand that, to prove he's sober, and he's going to have to show an extreme and unusual hardship to you to be able to come back because he does have 3 crimes of moral turpitude. Perhaps the DUIs are, maybe they're not. I don't know what Wisconsin DUI law says. I know, for example, in New York, a DWI is a crime of moral turpitude. A DUI is not. I would have to actually read what is a Wisconsin.
Well,
DUI
he did. He didn't in his pleas. He didn't say he was guilty. He said
one second, Jackie.
nothing.
Let me ask you a question. Was he deported because he overstayed, or was he deported because he was?
That I don't know because I don't have his record. I've been trying to get him to get his record, and I don't have his immigration file.
All right, so we're gonna have to get his record and figure it out. But he's definitely going to need waivers to come back. 1 waiver for deportation, perhaps 2, perhaps a second one for crimes of moral turpitude. All right, so let me help you. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go to Ruby in Brooklyn. Ruby.
Hello, yes, I'm here.
How you doing?
Fine, and you? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yes, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so I'm calling about my fiance. Also, he was deported. It was from. They said it was they made it seem like it was a big drug charge. When he got arrested, they did find 4 bags of crack cocaine and half of marijuana that he smoked. And then when the police came in and the press, they made it seem like he had so much drugs and so much.
Was he found guilty of a drug offense?
Yes, he was, but then they lowered it.
Okay, and he was not. He was a resident.
He was a permanent resident.
How
yeah.
long was he a resident?
He was here since he was 6 years old.
Okay, was his mother or father a citizen before he turned 18?
No, he just arrived about 3 months.
Who just arrived
from his 18th birthday?
You told me he's been here since he was 6 months old. 6 years old.
6 years old.
So who arrived? The parents arrived when he was 18.
Yes, the father had sponsored the mother, and then the mother went back and got them.
Okay, but the father, was he a citizen?
It wasn't his naturalized father. It was the married into.
Unfortunately, then, unless he's a citizen of the United States and he already got deported, he's not coming back with any sort of serious drug offense.
Even if they fabricated the whole.
Well, it doesn't matter if they fabricated it or not. You got to prove that. So you could sit there and scream and yell they fabricated it, but as far as the U.S. Embassy is concerned, he has a drug conviction. So unless you're going to reopen that criminal case and prove that it's all fabricated, and I don't know how you're going to do all of that, then that conviction stands.
So even if it was where I'm at, right, there's been a lot of cases where the police officers have fabricated arrests and planted drugs. Yes.
He has a conviction. So that's all immigration's going to look at. There is a conviction. They're not, you could scream from the top of your roof of your apartment that everything was fabricated, and maybe it was. I have no idea. I'm not here to tell you whether it was or wasn't because I don't know. But let's assume it was. He has a conviction. It's all immigration's going to look at. So unless that conviction is vacated somehow, and you're going to vacate it by proving that everything was fabricated, that's a high burden.
I was also sorry.
Yeah.
I also was looking into ineffective counsel assistance.
It doesn't. The only ineffective assistance. The only thing you can do is try to vacate the criminal conviction. There's no from immigration standpoint. If he has a drug offense, he's getting deported. Period.
Even as a non-violent.
Yeah, unless now, if did they charge him? Did they charge him with? Did they charge him as a drug trafficker? A sale of drugs?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so sale of drugs is an aggravated felony. That's why there was no ineffective assistance of counsel, unless you're going to be able to prove that that's not the case.
So the lawyer that I hired, Mr.
You don't have to say his name. It doesn't matter.
You're right.
Okay,
I held it back.
So the only thing to argue in those things is, was he a drug trafficker? Was he not a drug trafficker?
He wasn't. No.
I understand you're saying that, but if he was convicted of sale of drugs, that conviction is he's a drug trafficker under immigration law. If he was not convicted of sale of drugs, then that's a different story. If you'd like, two things, Ruby, and I know you want your man back. Okay, all right. I know you want your man back. Okay,
all his kids are here.
I understand that. He's either the only, and it's 1 in a million shot. But either you're vacating his criminal conviction, or in fact, he was not convicted of sale of drugs and immigration got it all wrong. I don't know. Hold on one second if you want me to look at everything. All right, let's go to Sandra in, I don't know where Sandra is, Los Angeles, California.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
How are you?
Hi, Cam. You look pretty in that shirt.
Thanks, Sandra. Is this Sandra Salinas?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Sandra. Thank you.
And I've lost 3 pounds.
Hey! That's what she's calling about.
My favorite.
Right. I like it when the squad is following along and that's a challenge.
Yeah.
All right, it's good. We'll all get in shape for the summer. What's going on?
Okay, so my question is, I've asked her already twice, but I didn't have all the information. My fiance's father lives in Texas. He's been a permanent resident for about almost 40 years. It's the last 10 years, he got a divorce, and then he became an alcoholic, went to rehab and all that. But in that meantime, he got 2 PIs and 1, what do you call it? Well, 3. But 1 he pleaded guilty, and the other 2 were dismissed. He did all his court and all that. So we wanted to know if you can help him in his case.
To what? Become a citizen? Or is he in deportation? What's going on?
No. He's not in deportation. He doesn't even know if he is, but since that.
You want me to look into the case and see what his immigration consequences are, and whether I can make him a citizen if he chooses to, if he can travel, that type of thing. Yeah, I can absolutely. I would need to see the dispositions first. So
I have them.
Okay, so hold on 1 second, and you'll have a phone consultation with me next week.
Bye.
Bye. Well, she's happy.
I love Sandra.
Yes. Let's go to Gwen in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Gwen.
Yeah, hi.
How you doing?
Hi, Brad. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, terrific. Okay, I have an adjustment question. I came here on a C1 visa, but I was not a crewman.
You were coming to switch planes.
I came on a plane.
In transit. To switch
in transit, yes.
Right.
Okay, so I remained. I'm here. I've been here a while, about 15 years. And I'm not married. My husband is permanently disabled. So 2 questions I have. First off, can I adjust with my situation, and can my husband sponsor me, seeing that he's on permanent disability?
Okay. Permanent disability answer is yes. You may need a second affidavit of support. Now, you said originally you came as a crewman? Or you came
I was never a crewman, and I did not intend on being a crewman. I came as a passenger on an airplane.
Perfect. I understand. Okay. And you were going, where were you doing? Where are you from originally?
Trinidad.
And you were going from Trinidad where? To Miami to go to another country, right?
No, I was just coming to the U.S.
So what kind of visa did you
have?
I had
no idea that my visa was going to be viewed in a certain, light.
Right. Well, that visa allows you to adjust your status, absolutely. What doesn't allow you to adjust your status if you're on a C1, D1 visa, which is that you're a crew member, you're coming to America to join a boat, to work on a boat. That's what you can't adjust on. But you were somebody supposedly in transit. Now, maybe there's some misrepresentation issue. I don't know. But you were supposedly in transit. That visa is you were coming from Trinidad to go to, I'm making it up, I have no idea where you flew to, Miami, and then you were supposed to be on a layover in Miami, whether it was for 12 hours or 2 days or 3 days, to get on an airplane to go to another country outside of the United States.
Well, I can tell you what happened. When I got that visa, I was going on a cruise, but I was going on a cruise as a passenger.
Right.
And the following year, I wanted to come to the U.S., and I came and I stayed. I came on the same visa. I used the same visa.
And nobody said anything to you?
Well, the immigration, I don't know, whoever I spoke to at the airport, I was a little scared, so I kind of fabricated why I was here and everything like that. And they let me through.
All right, so it's possible, because I heard the word fabrication, that you're eligible to adjust, you're going to need a waiver.
I'm going to need a waiver.
Yes.
Okay. What type of waiver, and how do
you need a misrepresentation waiver because you fabricated. Because the visa that you came on was for you to go back on another cruise or to go fly to another country, and maybe you said something that's what I was planning on doing, and they said, okay, come on in, and that wasn't really what you were planning on doing. So that's the fabrication or the misrepresentation. So you would need a waiver based on hardship to your husband, which I assume he's going to have if he's on permanent disability.
Yes.
If you were not be able to get your green card. So the fact that he's on permanent disability already puts you in a better light for a good waiver, and maybe you need a second affidavit of support. So hold on, we can help you. Hold on one second. Let's go to Stephen in Greer, South Carolina. Stephen.
Hello?
How are you?
I'm okay.
What's going on?
I got a friend who got a denial last week, Thursday.
For what?
And for a green card, I-130.
Why was it denied? Is my question.
It was denied. It was stated that it seems like it's a sham marriage.
Okay.
And then this week, Monday, he got a next letter in the mail that his I-130 was approved. It has an I-797 notice saying the petition was approved.
Well, then it wasn't a sham marriage if the I-130 was approved.
Well, first he got a letter saying it was denied. His case was denied.
Well, maybe his adjustment was denied and the I-130 was approved, but it wasn't denied because it was a sham marriage, because they would never have approved the I-130.
And then this week he got that letter stating that.
Yeah, we don't have all the facts right here. Because in other words, the I-130 is the approval that it's a bona fide marriage. So you can't get adjustment denied saying it's a sham marriage and then they approve the I-130. What could happen is they approve the I-130, they say it's a good marriage, but we're going to deny your adjustment for some other reason.
Okay, so what should he do?
Call me, let me see why they denied it, and then let me figure out how to fix it.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Let's go to, who are we going to go to? Cotes or Coates? Hello?
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing excellent. My name is Marsha, and I just have one question for you.
I don't understand one word you said. Start again. Oh. All right, let's go to Jamie in Oklahoma City. Jamie.
Yes, sir, Mr. Brad. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Mr. Brad, I got a question for you.
Yes.
When I was a little boy, 5, 6 years old, I met my grandfather. He was a U.S. citizen, and he said that I can probably come stay, in the United States.
Right.
He can help me find papers, but I waited too long, and then when I came to the United States, then I couldn't find my grandfather. Is there any way we can try to do something now and
How
see
old
if
are
I
you?
can get... Right now, I'm 39.
So who raised you?
Oh, no, I was with my mom, and then eventually I came to the United States when I was like 18 years old.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
All right, and how did you come to America?
Well, I came without inspection.
All right.
I came without inspection.
So
But I became a legal permanent resident now.
Oh, so what is your question? What do you need help with?
No, can I become a U.S. citizen through my grandfather or no?
No, you have to naturalize.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Nicole in Brooklyn. Nicole.
Hi, good
Nicole.
evening.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Yeah, question I would like to ask. I'm calling on behalf of my cousin, right?
Mm-hmm.
She and the lady have an altercation, and she has to leave from she was in PA, right? She and the lady have an altercation where police get involved, and they all ID her. They didn't lock her up. They all ID her and let her go.
Whoop, we lost Nicole. Nicole, we're back?
Go again?
Okay, we lost you for a second there. So there was a fight. Somebody was arrested. They ID'd her and let her go.
No, she did not get arrested. They were ID her.
Okay, fine.
And let her go.
Okay.
Then now she get married to a U.S. citizen.
Uh-huh.
Then What's the question she would like to ask? If there is a warrant out, can she put in her paperwork?
Well, you just told me she wasn't arrested. Is there a warrant out for arrest?
Yes.
If there's a warrant out for arrest, I wouldn't put in your paperwork because they're going to come pick her up. She's got
What again?
If there's a warrant out for your arrest, two things. From a practical standpoint, if there's a warrant out for your arrest and you show up at immigration, the police will be there to arrest you. From a practical standpoint, that doesn't sound like a smart way to deal with it. Okay? And from a more practical thing, if you have an outstanding warrant, you can't get a green card. So you need to deal with the criminal case. And I assume if there's a warrant out for your arrest, you want to go into the police with like a lady and not be dragged out of immigration in handcuffs. So she needs a good criminal defense attorney.
Should I do what?
What? She needs a good criminal defense attorney. There's a warrant out for arrest.
Yes. Okay. I need to deal with that first before she put in her paperwork.
I would think so. Hold on. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, put in your paperwork. There's a warrant out for my arrest. That has nothing to do with nothing.
Right. If the cops are looking for you, what makes you think that ICE isn't also going to want to be looking for you once you tell them you're here?
Yeah.
Come on now.
All right. Adi, or 80 in Oklahoma City.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. I just had a quick question. I'm trying to. So I've applied twice. My first time it was denied. Second time is currently still in process. It's about 5 years now. I played no contest for a bogus check. No money was involved. No restitution. So my first time it was denied based on I don't provide nothing documentation. But my second time, the officer wanted me to file. There's a form that I've just filed just to forget the name of the form.
A 601 waiver.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, because you have an inadmissible offense.
Yes, but currently the offense has been dismissed because I was put on probation for 3 years. There's no restitution.
Yeah,
but
but let me explain something to you. That is still a criminal conviction because you were convicted, you were on probation, and then after you finish your probation, they dismiss the case. For immigration purposes, that is a conviction still. Unless it's a petty offense, which it sounds like it's not because they're asking for a waiver, you need a waiver. You need a good lawyer to do it.
Okay, so I've actually filed the waiver, but I'm just trying to find out how long does the waiver take to be approved?
Anywhere from 1 month to forever.
Wow. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, so with that, Belgium Kim. Spar and Bernstein Immigration Attorney Abadir Barre, she is working very hard to help our viewers. We were talking about mandamus and adjustment. Just today, we had a client come in to thank us. Had a pending adjustment for more than 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
Oh, my God.
Okay. It was she was adopted by U.S. citizens here, and the U.S. citizen filed her adjustment application, and the person's now an adult, teenager when it was filed. And over 3 years waiting.
3 years, that's insane.
Comes to us.
Yeah.
With the mother.
Yeah.
Hired Abadir February 28th.
Of this year?
This year.
Okay, so like a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago.
Right.
Has a green card. What do? We filed a mandamus action.
Right.
After she's waiting 3 years, God knows how many letters and a congresswoman.
Right.
It's really important you watch Abadir. And we file mandamuses. And they were terrified. They're like, oh, I don't want to sue the government. And 6 weeks later, she has a green card.
She has her green card?
Yeah. Is it 6 weeks? It's February 28th.
God.
March. Yeah, about 6 weeks, 7 weeks later.
You guys.
Yeah.
Please watch this.
Please watch this.
I don't want to have to ask another question tonight about why is this taking so long. You're about to get all your answers.
Exactly. Watch this. I filed my adjustment application on January 1st.
Right.
That means on January 1st, I am eligible for that green card.
Correct.
I am eligible on January 1st to be a lawful permanent resident of the United States.
Correct.
What happens when the government says, okay, we're going to accept your application, you are eligible to be a permanent resident of the United States, but now we're going to make you wait 3 years to be a permanent resident? A, why is that happening? And B, what should we do about it?
Well, first of all, it's happening because this administration claim it's a backlog, but previous administrations are moving on them much quicker. They just don't want to give more immigrants lawful permanent resident status. What people fail to understand is Trump is not just after illegal immigration. He's after legal immigration. And he's done many things that have circumvented the policies and procedures to curb legal immigration, and this is one of them.
So when Trump says he's all in favor of legal immigration, he's against illegal immigration, that's also not true.
That's
hashtag fake news.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So this orange guy, he's against legal immigration?
Yes.
Because he has to be. Because if you're eligible for a green card in January 1st and they make you wait 36 months for a green card, that's not being eligible for a green card.
Absolutely not, yeah.
That's a long time.
That's long. And like I say, a visa delayed is a visa denied.
That is exactly right. I like that line.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that. A visa delayed is a visa denied.
The old adage is justice delayed is justice denied. A visa delayed is a visa denied.
Yeah, because a lot could happen in those 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say you're married. Your spouse passes away. You get into a fight with your spouse. They no longer want to sponsor you, but you are eligible on that day.
Yes. And I want to point out to people that they say that it's 18 months or it's 20 months. But think about this. When you get your medical, how long is it good for? 1 year. Because it's supposed to be processed within that year.
Correct.
But now people are left to do their medicals over and over.
Or at the time of their interview. They don't even bother. You don't even bother filing your medical anymore.
Because it's taking much longer than a year.
So now somebody who's waiting more than 12 months for their adjustment interview, they should have been granted under no other administration.
Right.
Not under Reagan, not under Bush the First, not under Clinton, not under W, certainly not under Obama.
Correct.
Did anybody ever in my career wait more than 12 months for an adjustment interview until Donald Trump. Okay, really it should be 6 months.
Yes.
That should be the goal of their processing time. It should be 6 months for adjustment, it should be 6 months for naturalization.
Right.
Okay? Sometimes it went 9 months, 10 months, but over 12 months, when you're eligible immediately for that benefit, and they're telling you got to wait 3 years for a benefit that you're immediately eligible for, that is a violation of every tenet of the Immigration and Nationality Act.
Yeah, and he's doing that purposely because he doesn't want legal immigration, especially family-based legal immigration, and particularly legal immigration from people that are outside of the countries of like Norway and Scandinavia, but outside of that.
So if somebody's waiting more than 12 months for their adjustment interview that they rightfully should have gotten within the first 12 months, what do you do?
File a mandamus act.
We've talked about this in multiple episodes before.
Right.
Tell us again, what is a mandamus?
A writ of mandamus is a lawsuit to the federal courts, because immigration is federal law and the federal courts have jurisdiction, and that act gives the federal judge the power to mandate USCIS to discharge their non-discretionary statutory duty of processing the application. So, in other words, it's layman terms for saying they have to give an up and down vote on that.
It's a federal judge saying to a lower administrative body, make a decision.
Yes, and it's an order.
And you better do it because it's a federal order. You'd be in violation of a federal judge.
Right.
Now, what do you say to people? Because I know there's a lot of people out there, they say, Brad, listen, I'm married. I don't want to fool around with the government. I want to live here for the rest of my life.
Right.
I'll just wait. I don't care if I wait 10 years. I have nowhere to go back home. I'm not suing the government to go get deported.
Yes.
That's not happening.
Right.
What do you say to people like that?
The exact opposite actually happens. When you sue the federal government, it makes sure that your application is properly processed, because now they have more eyes on them. They have the superiors at USCIS saying this is what they call a litigation case, so they take special care of it. They have a federal judge overlooking it, and if they screw it up, we're back in federal court saying it was improperly denied.
So really, it actually adds protection to it, because a lot of times people say, hey Brad, do I need a lawyer to go with me on an adjustment interview? And I say, absolutely. Why do you need a lawyer to go with you on an adjustment interview? The lawyer's not going to be answering any questions. The lawyer's just sitting there. So why, you're going to be the one answering the questions. The reason is because you're in a box with an immigration officer who has total power over you. And there's nobody in that box looking at that immigration officer.
Yes.
You could look at that immigration officer the wrong way and say, and the officer could say, you know what? I don't believe it's a real marriage. You're denied. I don't think you have good moral character. You look left instead of looking right. Immigration officers can do whatever they want because there's nobody overlooking and nobody hearing what they're saying to you and what you're saying to them. That's why you have a lawyer there.
Yes, to protect your rights.
To protect your rights. Now, when you sue them in federal court, not only do you have a lawyer there to protect your rights, you also have a federal judge overlooking them, making sure that they better follow the law.
Right.
So as a matter of fact, it's added protection, not less protection.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, because people have in their mind, well, if I sue them, then they're going to screw me and I have nobody there to protect me.
Yes.
But as a matter of fact, you have a lawyer and a federal judge who ordered the Immigration Service to do your case protecting you.
Right. I'll give you an example. So I had a case one time where we went in, they denied the medical. I ended up suing in federal court. We came back, we did the interview again, and then the officer was trying to still give them a hard time and all that. So I just told the officer, you know what, you can write whatever you want in your notes, but you better stand by those notes. Because if you don't, I'm hauling your ass into federal court, and I'm going to depose you, and you better have an explanation for why you denied this. And it better be a legal basis. The next day,
So what
got
happened?
approved.
Right.
The next day. Because they don't have a legal basis to deny. She was mad, she was whatever, she didn't, like my client, she was prejudiced, but at the end of the day, she thought to herself, do I want everything I'm writing in this? Do I want a federal judge overlook? Do I want to be in federal court? I'm a civil servant. I don't want this kind of,
Do you know how many times clients have come into me and said, I went on my adjustment interview by myself, I don't think the officer liked me and denied me? It happens all the time.
Yes, yeah. You need an attorney with you at your interviews, and then having a lawsuit puts them on the spot to properly adjudicate your application. Otherwise, you can just wait for years. And like I say, a visa delayed is a visa denied. So things will, you think you're okay now, but you're not in solid footing.
All right, Kim, are you ready? Kim?
Oh, I'm ready, Brad.
You ready? Is squad ready?
Oh, they're ready. They stay ready.
All right, social media check-in. Let's check in.
Our very first question is from Bruce, who says, good day, Brad. If an immigrant becomes a citizen through marriage, how long after a divorce, after being a citizen, can he or she file for a foreign spouse?
Next day.
We've got a question from Tyra, who said, I was married back in 2013, but my husband was abusive and we broke up. I filed a VAWA case, but they denied me because of lack of evidence that I entered into a good faith marriage. Now I'm married to my wife, and she filed all the paperwork. I did my fingerprint in September.
So it's a same-sex marriage now.
So now it's a same-sex marriage.
Okay.
The case has been paused and was sent to Vermont. And when I called the 800 number, they said my receipt isn't pulling anything up in their system, so I should just write to the Vermont Center. Does that sound like a problem? Do I need a lawyer on my case?
I think it sounds like you need a lawyer because I don't know what they're investigating, but. Quite frankly, if you're in a real first marriage and you're in a real second marriage, and if the second marriage is a same-sex marriage, and you're in love and you can prove it, then let them investigate all they want. That's what it sounds like is happening here. But definitely you're going to need a lawyer.
Navneet said, my I-485 interview is tomorrow and my occupation on my tax return from 2016 is written incorrectly as a software engineer instead of software industry. But the rest of the returns are fine. Do offices audit tax returns, and will they be asking specific questions on tax returns? My income, employer, and everyone listed is correct.
They just look at the income at the bottom, and if there's an error, I wouldn't worry about that. Software engineer, software. What was the
industry?
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. I'm not a software anything. I couldn't have told you the difference. Kahi gave us a little bit.
Kahi?
Kahi.
Yeah, it reminds me of the song Taki Taki, right?
Taki. Yeah, yes. You're right. You're absolutely right. We're gonna.
I'm up to date with
that. Right. Except that on behalf of all of our viewers, for you, we're not going to sing that.
We're not going to sing Taki Taki.
We've got a question from Kahi or Kahi.
Kahi, but not different than Taki Taki.
Completely different. Asked about the sensitive case, but here's the situation.
Oh, this is the sensitive case.
This is the sensitive case.
Okay.
I'm in a same-sex marriage, and immigration let me do my biometric and my medical, but now they're telling me that my case is sensitive. It's considered a sensitive case, and they've given me no additional info. I got no idea what this means. Can you help?
It means they're investigating you.
A sensitive
They're investigating.
case.
Apparently, what we're hearing from lots of same-sex marriages is that there's full investigations going on to make sure that you are truly in a real same-sex marriage and it's not your best friend marrying you to get a green card.
Right. Therese Bright said, my question is, can I board the plane with my EAD to different states?
Yes, you can. Anna Nicole's like, Brad said talkie talkie, I felt like dancing.
I know, that's the thing. It's like you immediately hear it. Gurpreet said, my I-485 employment-based tax return asked how many years of returns is required, and does the USCIS officer audit the tax returns during the interview? Will they go
the same question?
It's a different person.
What is this, for citizenship or a green card?
It's for an I-485.
Nobody's auditing tax returns.
And so they're asking, do they go into detailed deductions and the credits that you've asked for?
No, but they're going to look at your net income, your gross income. They're going to want to make sure that you're earning the salary that you're supposed to be earning in your labor application and that you're working for the company that you're supposed to be working for. So what they're looking at is, if your labor application says you're supposed to earn $60,000 a year, they want to see a W-2 of $60,000 a year. If your labor certification says you're supposed to earn $20,000 a year, but you're a family of 6, then they're going to deny you for poverty guidelines, so you're going to have to hopefully have a second affidavit of support from somebody. Or a job letter that says that you're going to be above the poverty level. They're looking at gross and net incomes to determine any sort of fraud on the labor application and poverty guidelines. They're not looking at deductions and credits. They're not the IRS.
We've got a question from Mohammed, who says that he checked his case status online, and it says, we scheduled an interview for your Form I-85, but they never got the message that says, we are ready to schedule your interview. So my question is, when am I going to get the actual notice in the mail?
Any day then.
He's been waiting 2 weeks.
It should be any day.
Okay.
Wait another week or so. If you don't hear, then give us a call.
Zachary says, do the parents need to show their assets before the I-130 petition is filed by their son for an immigrant visa?
No.
Shanika said, my husband is filing for me and my kid and the kids in Jamaica, but wants to retire. Can he retire after he does the affidavit of support before we get our interview? He filed for us in July of 2018, and we just got a receipt in August that they received the I-130.
I mean, you have to be able to show that you can support your family after you come here. If he's going to retire the day after he does the affidavit of support, and the embassy knows that that affidavit of support is no longer a really valid one because the man retired, you can run into a problem. Me personally, let the man work until the people get here.
I was just about to say, hold on. Retire the day after, man. She's also wondering about how long do you think the entire process is going to take from start to finish? They started back in July of 2018.
Who's doing what?
Husband is filing for me and the kids in Jamaica, so
12 to 18 months start to finish.
Ken Kibbett said, if your VAWA was filed as an abused spouse by a U.S. citizen doesn't go through, do you have an option of marriage again, or what would be alternative?
Get married again. If it's a bona fide marriage, absolutely you have that option.
Dari says, I violated immigration law by overstaying my tourist visa when I went to California with my mother when I was 11 years old in 1994. I'm 32 years old now and have spent the last 12 years in my home country. How come USCIS approved my mother's petition for me even though I previously violated immigration law? Do they not have my entry and exit dates in any of their government systems, and is it going to pose a problem for me?
They certainly have your exit and entry dates, but there is no law that says because you violated immigration law you can't get a visa petition approved. The visa petition establishes that you're eligible for a green card. It doesn't establish whether you're admissible or inadmissible. It just says that you are approved in this particular category. So-and-so sponsored you, they're a citizen or a resident, your husband, and you're married to him in a bona fide marriage, you're eligible for this benefit. Now you have to go for an interview at a U.S. embassy, and that's when they're going to determine whether you are an admissible alien or an inadmissible alien. I hate to use the word alien, but that's what the word is that's actually in the Immigration Nationality Act. And the admissibility depends on, did you overstay beyond your 18th birthday? If you overstayed beyond your 18th birthday for 180 days, you have a 3-year bar. If you overstayed for 365 days, you have a 10-year bar. If the overstay was prior to your 18th birthday, they know about it, but it is not a bar to getting a green card because you you were not in control of your life. Your mother was in control of your life at that point.
So blaming it on mom is the one time.
No,
that
it's just
like
any overstay of a child is fine.
Oh, okay.
It's just once you hit 18.
Oyen said, I just filed VAWA and I don't have my receipt yet, and my I-45 interview is close. What do I need to submit or tell the interview officer to put my I-45 on hold?
You go to the I-45 interview and you bring receipt of your VAWA.
We've got a question from Janelli, who said, I'm currently on a student visa. My first question is, can I leave the country and come back without problems using my student visa, even if I have an ongoing petition?
Petition for what?
We don't know.
Well, you can't travel on a student visa if you have a petition for a green card, because a student visa is a non-immigrant visa, meaning that you have to, when you come into the airport, you're telling the government that you have an intent to leave America once your studies are over. If you have a petition filed, that means that you've told the government you intend to live in America for the rest of your life. So if you were to travel, those would be incongruent. You would be making a misrepresentation and probably be put in some sort of deportation hearing.
And that's all we got for right now, Brad.
All right, we're going to come back and finish your social media and speed rounds right after we celebrate the Bangladeshi New Year, which was on Sunday, April 14th. It's the first day of the Bangladesh calendar. Yonathan went to Diversity Plaza in Queens to partake in the New Year festivities as a celebration sponsored by the Bangladeshi International Performing Arts. From his Instagram post, it looks like he had a great time. Let's watch.
What's up, Brad Squad? Shubho Nababarsho. That's right. Happy Bangladeshi New Year. I'm here at Diversity Plaza in Queens celebrating the first day of the Bengali calendar, which is April 14th on a Sunday. I'm super excited because this festival was put on by the Bangladeshi International Performing Arts. We're going to have some fun today. For those who may not know, the People's Republic of Bangladesh is a sovereign country in South Asia and the world's 8th most populous country, with mostly Muslims, some Hindu, Christians, Buddhists, and of course other religions as well. This holiday represents cleansing your debt from the last year and starting fresh with the new. I like that. This holiday was introduced by Mughal Emperor Akbar in the late 16th century. New York City holds one of the biggest Bangladeshi communities in the United States, so you already know we have to come and celebrate with them. Let's go and check it out. We have the woman in charge. Shubho Nababarsho.
Shubho Nababarsho to you.
What does today mean to you?
Today is the first day of Bengali year 1426. And today is our second day of celebration. We said goodbye to 1425 in Brooklyn. This is our first year in Diversity Plaza, but we have been doing it in Long Island City, Astoria. This is our 26th years in the community. We have 3 branches in Brooklyn and Queens. We teach our next generation our traditional arts, because we all know that you can be American, but you should not forget your roots. It's our responsibility who came here from Bangladesh to promote and preserve and pass it along to our children. So that's what we're doing here. We're having face painting, balloon, cotton candy performances. All women Brazilian drummers are coming to make noises with us. They will have a piece of our outfit.
How important is it to have other cultures come and you guys infuse as one?
It's universal. The Brazilian drummers, we want them to collaborate with us to show our kids that, look, the women are drummers. In our country, there are so many restrictions. So here, we don't have to be so restricted. You can have hijab, but let's play drums.
Yes.
So I think this inter-exchange is very important to teach our Bangladeshi generation that, we all have to exchange our culture.
I spoke to your mother, and she wants to make sure her kids get the same culture and they can pass it down. Why is it important for you to follow the traditions and keep your culture alive and strong?
I feel like oftentimes we forget that America is built on all these different cultures and immigrants. We always try to conform to the American ideal, which I feel like people think is just white culture, but there really is no such thing. White culture is a product of all of our cultures combined. And I feel like people of color, whether you're Bengali or African American or Latino or herbal, whatever you are, it's such an advantage. That helps you with so many critical thinking, problem solving, and charisma and public speaking skills. It's such a great advantage that we have, and just learning to use it to our best ability instead of just having it be a distraction is what I'm trying to promote.
Newark is a lot of diversity, every nation, every language. I'm really happy this day. Everybody is happy.
Right now, a lot of community, Bangladeshi, lot of people come this year. Everybody together, everybody do that.
How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you. I actually picked this outfit up in Dhaka, Bangladesh, which I traveled to with the Bangladesh Institute of Performing Arts. So I have a group called the Singing Winds, and we promote immigrant culture in Kensington, Brooklyn, which is how I met Annie Ferdos and Bangladesh Institute. We have been partnering on the parades. I also make props and masks for the dance performances.
So what does this mean to you, celebrating the Bangladeshi New Year here in the United States?
My family came probably 100 years ago, and I have lost the roots of my own family traditions because of assimilation into the American way of life. And so I know the feeling of loss that creates. I feel it's really important for people who are coming to the United States to be able to keep the traditions, the values, the customs that make them feel at home. So I am part of that effort.
We came here for this reason, to have a better life, but nothing is free here. We also have to have our identity. We will be a proud American. We're going to obey the rules of America, but we don't want to lose our identity.
Our main colors are red, orange, yellow, and white, and we deck out in Punjabis, which is what the men wear, saris, which is what I'm wearing.
This is our traditional dress, you know. This is sari, Indian and Bangladeshi people traditional. This is Punjabi. Oh, we love this dress.
Yeah, I love it. I love it too. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love your outfit. Can you tell me about it?
It's from our parents, grandparents. In our country, all of them wear it especially in like a special event.
Do you like wearing your traditional dress?
Yes, because it's also beautiful and I like it.
It's important to show everybody how beautiful the culture is, right?
Yes. When the Pala Bosha comes, I'm happy to be here.
What should I try to eat? I want savory and then I want sweet.
Okay, I can get you one thing that will be both savory and sweet. It's a delicacy. It's a type of sweet called Rashgolla. Little sweets that are in the shape of a ball, and it's white. When you bite into it, it's like a donut. It's filled with cream and sugar.
In this day, you eat certain fish called ilish mach. You eat that fish with rice, and that's a great thing from our grandparents. That's a good thing.
How proud are you of your children, representing your culture?
I am proud of both of my son and my daughter, and enjoy together.
What is your immigration story?
One side of my family is rumored to have come over with Lafayette in the Revolutionary War on the French side, but more recently, my great-grandfather came over here to escape the Austrian-Prussian War. He was a stowaway at the age of 14, came through Ellis Island. I came from California. I grew up in California.
Me too.
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn.
I was born in Bangladesh.
Okay.
And I came here. And I think it's a great opportunity to celebrate Poila Boishakh now in USA, because I'm sharing my feelings, my events to everyone in this country.
I came in 1986. I came as a visitor. My husband was here already. He had green card. Then I applied for green card. And I was in London working for Bangladesh consulate in London, so it was easy for me to get visa. Some people are still struggling. They're following all the rules of America. I don't know what Donald Trump thinks, but hello, We are working here, doesn't matter the color of the skin.
I find that we share more in common than we have differences, and that's why it's important to me.
Well, there you have it, Brad Squad. Amazing day celebrating the Bangladeshi New Year. So remember, last year's debt is gone. I want you guys to also, especially everybody watching, relate your culture to what they were doing and what they said. We are as one, and that's what America needs to realize, all right? Now back to the studio. Chubo Nababo Show. I think I said it right.
All right. So we have something new. It's called Speed Round. Is that what we're calling it? Our Speed Round. And we're going to answer, how many questions we got, Bill?
34, Brad.
We have 34 questions to answer in, how long should we give ourselves?
Well, you did 40 in 10 minutes yesterday, right?
All right, so then we're going to give ourselves 8 minutes. It's now almost 7:32.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to give ourselves 8.5 minutes. We got to be done by 7:40.
I think we have a countdown clock,
We have a
hypothetically.
countdown clock? We don't have a countdown clock. Okay,
just
we'll
kidding.
have it
Just
tomorrow.
kidding. I lied.
Okay, so
I'm
we're
sorry.
going to have it for Monday.
Perfect. So we'll stop it at 7:40.
Yes, you ready?
Okay, we got this.
We're
Ready.
going to do it. 34 questions in 8 minutes and change.
We're ready.
Ready.
LaCoy Lindsay said, "I filed an AOS for my wife in January and received the notice on how they will process the case. Did fingerprints, but then received a notice saying we have insufficient funds. But the lawyers resubmitted everything in February, and we haven't received anything since. What can you tell us?"
It sounds like your lawyers didn't pay the right filing fee, and hopefully you'll get a receipt notice shortly.
Ma says, "What's the EAD timeline if a U.S. citizen spouse applies for AOS today for the immigrant from Houston based on a marriage-based petition?"
3 to 4 months.
Musa says, "I'm married to a U.S. citizen and filed for my adjustment of status, my I-485, in October of 2018. But I've only gotten my receipt number since yet, and I have not done a biometric. I want to know if it's normal or if I should contact them. It's been a while, and we've
Contact them. That's not normal.
Aha. Angela says, "My brother's kids are not in the same state. Is that going to be a problem?"
Who cares if your brother's kids are not in the same state?
I'm assuming if they're being filed for by the brother.
No, not a problem.
Shine says, "You've been talking about Abadir sues the government a lot because of a delay on petitions. My question is, if a person files to remove the conditions on a green card, they had the interview last August and was told they couldn't make a decision at that time based on 2 factors, the main one being that for the first 2 years they never lived together. But after the interview, the wife wrote to USCIS and said the marriage was a fraud. What should the husband do? Does he just sit and wait or contact an attorney?"
Contact an attorney.
Brother's kids are not living with him. He's in the next state, and his wife is putting in for him and his kids. That's Angela's situation.
That's a problem. Husband and wife got to be living together. We learn that every day here.
No, I think that he lives with wife.
And the kids are in another
but
state.
But the kids live in different states.
Fine, no problem.
Lovingly Me said, "My husband filed for his N-400 in March, but his green card is going to expire before he gets his interview. Are we going to have an issue?"
Nope.
TB said, "My husband filed for asylum 16 years ago and his case was withheld from removal, and I won my asylum case and filed for him. He got approved. Does he need to close his first asylum case?"
Yes, he does.
Goldie said, "SIJ has been pending for almost 2 years. I am from New York City. What does that mean?"
It means you have a problem with your SIJ, and if you're over between 18 and 21 and you were denied or it's pending, that means that the government has to reopen it now within the next 60 days. If you are under 18, which I assume you're not, because then why would you be watching us? 10-year-old doesn't watch us.
Right.
Then you just have a problem. I don't know why they're not approving it.
Dimple says, "Can I have somebody to sponsor my child if I can't sponsor her to get here in the U.S.?"
No.
Mornyang said, "My friend filed the I-751, but he didn't put an affidavit of support of friends or family members because he didn't know and his lawyers didn't tell him. Is that a problem?"
To file a family-based petition without an affidavit of support is not a problem, but when they go for the interviews, it's a problem.
We've got a question from Cammie who said, "Can you take your baby to an immigration interview?"
Why not?
Nikki says, "I'm a green card holder through marriage. However, my 2-year green card expires in August. What's my next step?"
File the I-751.
Michelle said, "I'm asking for a friend of a friend. She got married to an American citizen. They went in for the interview, but the immigration officer stated that she does not think that the marriage is real. But his answers were different because his answers were different than hers. So they're going to come to their house. They went to the house. The man was at home. They asked if they can come in, and he let them in. They noticed that there were sleeping in 2 separate rooms. It's been 4 months and nothing from them since. What should she do?
Sounds like you got a problem. Hire a lawyer.
Tiffany said, I've got a question about SIDGE. The Legal Aid Society in New York won the court case that proves kids 18 to 21 shouldn't be denied. Can you explain more about SIDGE?
It's for children who are abandoned, abused, or neglected. They have somebody, an adult goes in, gets guardianship of them in a family court. They have to be under 21 when it happens, and you show it's not in the child's best interest to be returned to the biological parent, to at least one biological parent, and that child can file a SIDGE application, which is a direct adjustment for a green card.
We've got a question from Shiv, who said, I got my work permit on February 19th of this year, and my I-485 is pending. How many months am I going to wait to get an approval?
12 to 24 months.
Alea said, what's the difference when the I-130 is approved, but the I-485 is denied?
They believe it's a real marriage, but you're inadmissible for some other reason.
Ash said, if my I-130 already approved, is that going to speed up my adjustment of status?
Hopefully.
Dimple said, could I have a friend of mine sponsor my child to get here in the U.S. if I can't get her here because of a tax problem? So it sounds like it's for the affidavit of support.
You can get a second friend to do an affidavit of support.
Sean said, can a U.S. citizen sponsor their parents overseas, and how would the forms be signed? Would they have to be mailed to them?
No, the parents don't have to sign anything. It's the U.S. citizen files an I-130 for each parent.
Hey, Brad, I went to my USCIS interview in October of 2018, but have not heard anything from them since. Is that normal, and what can I do?
Mandamus. Go see Abadir sues the government.
Prince says, how long does it take to get your new green card in the mail after the renewal?
12 weeks.
Yazil said, my grandmother has filed for my mother and I, her granddaughter, but I overstayed. If I go back to my country to complete the process, will I be able to get back in the U.S.?
You may have a 10-year bar. Go speak to a lawyer first.
D. Bean said, hey, Brad, how long does it take to get a waiver after I did my fingerprints in September of last year? We started the filing process back in August of 2017.
Waivers take 12 months now.
Truth Serum said, how long does it take to get a work permit after submitting all your documents after marriage?
It's 4 to 6 months.
Spencer said, my friend has been out of status before for 4 months with his DS student visa last year. Could he get a visitor's visa without issues from his past immigration status? He's now a permanent resident of Canada.
He may have a problem.
Sharna says, in a VAWA case, how long after the biometrics should I get the work authorization? I did biometrics last August.
Oh, you should have gotten your work permit. This is a problem.
Oof. Oyen said, I can't get my VAWA receipt before my interview, and we already asked that question. But the follow-up is, I called them and they told me that I can't get VAWA. My second question is, if my pending I-485 is not put on hold, could I use my work permit?
You can file a new adjustment.
Cloudy says, I was on removal proceedings, turned to order of supervision for a year after my I-130 interview. Now I've got the I-130 approved, the I-212 approved, and the I-485 was submitted 3 weeks ago. Is there any chance that we can still be deported?
Yes, but it sounds like you're very close to getting a green card, so thumbs up for you.
Beatrice says, I filed an I-130 for my husband while I was a green card holder, but they denied it because of my previous marriage, and I appealed. Now I'm a U.S. citizen. Can I refile again? The appeal is pending.
Yes.
Jean says, I came in the U.S. in October of 2014 as a fiance. I got married in December. I went through stuff already, but now they asked me for more evidence. Me and my wife are not living together anymore, but we're not divorced yet. I won't have any evidence that they're asking for, so how could you guys help?
You got a problem because you're not with your spouse anymore, so it has to be a bona fide marriage all the way through getting a green card. Come see us. I'm not sure what we're going to do for you.
First Lady Hewitt, it says, big up, Kim, big up, First Lady. Will your EAD be renewed if you file the renewal before your interview but was denied at the interview?
It won't be renewed.
And when the status is checked since the interview, it says your fingerprint was completed or something like that. What does that mean?
Still won't be approved because you got denied your adjustment.
Sean says, what forms does a citizen need when filing for a parent overseas?
I-130.
Kajelia says, can a husband file for his mother-in-law?
No.
Also, if you recently filed your adjustment of status and you have a death, what would happen if you leave the country? I know you can't come back on your visa.
Once you leave the country without advance parole on a pending adjustment, the adjustment's denied.
Dari had
But we're well over 34.
we are well over 34, but
Okay.
we haven't hit the 41 yet.
Well, we're 41 now.
So I'm got.
Well, I'm like, we hit 34, yay!
We did go to 34, but we haven't hit 741, and the questions keep coming. So
Okay.
we're gonna keep helping people. Is that okay?
All right, so how many more we got?
I got 2 more.
2 more.
See, we could have just been done by
That's
now.
true. Okay.
Dari had a follow-up. She was the person who went to California with their mom when they were 11 and overstayed. I continued to stay in California with my mom after my 18th birthday by 2 years, and then I returned to my home country on my own will. I've been there for 12 years, so I know the 10-year bar has passed. What do you think the chances are of me being denied a green card during the interview in my home country for those 2 years I overstayed?
0. You'll get a green card. That's not going to be a reason to deny you.
And finally, Brad, we've got Omatayo, who said, can a U.S. citizen petition for his parent who's out of status on a visitor's visa in the U.S.?
Yes.
Ha! We have made it. It's a miracle.
We need a miracle. All right.
And we have almost as many comments of the day, Brad.
All right, yeah, I'll let you take as long as you need for comments of the day.
Our very first one is actually an interaction. Angela Rawlings on YouTube said, I am addicted to the show, to the Brad Show. I love it.
All right.
But then Therese Bright replied to Angela Rawlings and said, Angela, your addiction is an understatement.
I like that.
We've got another comment from Overcoming who said, the show where you get entertainment and free immigration. It can't get better than that.
That's right.
That's true. It can't. Scott Grant. Now, Scott and his wife, Grace, asked us a bunch of questions about getting married on an ESTA visa. And that we worried them so much so that they got a lawyer. And Brad, wouldn't you know, they got approved today. I wanted to let you know and thank you so much for your help that you told my wife, Grace. Getting a lawyer made all the difference.
Congratulations. Very
We love to hear that. Violet Blackwood real hard on the Brad Squad growth bandwagon, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
She tagged Ramona Hazel and she said, at Ramona Hazel, I got your grandma watching Brad Show.
That's funny.
We're going after people's
grandmothers now.
Woo!
Right.
No one is safe.
I mean, that's sharing, right?
That is, sharing is caring.
Yes.
Grandma gave us a quick Brad challenge update and said, I lost 2 pounds, but the finder gave him back to me.
That's funny. All right.
And then finally, we've got our very last one from First Lady Hewitt that said, after being on the squad for so long, since March, I feel like I can answer some of these questions for Brad.
That's right. A lot of people can. There's every question known to mankind for immigration has been asked already on the show.
Asked and answered multiple times.
I can't think of any question at some point since we've gone on the air that hasn't been asked.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
All right, everybody. Have a happy Easter, happy Passover, happy spring, happy 3-day weekend. We're going to see you all back Monday at 5:30 or maybe 5:35, whenever we get started. We'll see you then. Take care. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800 529-5465, and now conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?